A last-minute winner, and it went our way. It was not Gabriel Gudmundsson scoring the oddest own goal you've ever seen. So Leeds 1, Fulham 0. We'll be talking about that, as well as what do Leeds United need to do in the transfer window? What would you like to see? And then we'll preview the Everton away game, which is happening on a Monday night. So good luck getting back to Leeds on a train from Liverpool. My name's Adonis, and you know me as at the Adelites on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me. And joining us to discuss all of this and much, much more, no doubt, is at Barney LUFC 21. Barney from the internet. Barnes.
Aye, you all right?
Very good, thank you, Barnes. Now I've stopped sniffling. And the Prince of Darkness himself, Machiavelli, the Machiavelli of the North. There we go. Big Matt, Ewan Metcalf. Macca.
Now then, you pair of muff divers, how we doing?
Good.
Good lads, good lads. Like to hear it. Good to be back.
Good to start it off with a bit of
Stars we need to go on.
Yeah. So Leeds 1, Fulham 0. How did you find that, Barnes? Let's go with you first. Let's try and get a semblance of seriousness before we head south to Madison.
It felt like it was just going to end up being a bit of a 0-0 draw. There was no real sort of quality to the game, I didn't think. Considering Fulham, they were unbeaten in 7 as well, I thought we could expect a little bit more from them, but they seem to be happy to go for the draw as well. But I think it shows again that how we can compete in this league, being a promoted side where we probably dominated a mid-table team throughout the game, really. And I think we probably should have had that win at the end after it all. So yeah, happy. 25 points, looking pretty good in the league so far. Happy.
Excellent. All that happy clapping paid off.
Yeah.
Leeds 1, Fulham 0.
He called it all along. He called it all along. He said we'd be in Europe, so we're heading that way out. We're looking up, not down.
What do you think of the game?
Similar. It was a bit of a nothing game, really. I thought we dominated it mostly. They didn't really create a great deal. Like Barney said, I won't say disappointed. I'm glad when people come to Ellen Road and shit. To be honest, it's brilliant. But Wilson didn't. He's a sort of player that you've watched recently and thought, bloody hell, I wish we'd have got him. That he'd have been a great addition to the team, wouldn't he? But he didn't perform, and a lot of the other decent players in there. So you sort of look at their team. There's another team that they remind me a little bit like them, where you kind of think, well, it's like Forest, isn't it? You look at the squad and you think, fucking hell, how are they struggling? I mean, I know Fulham are in a much better position than Forest, but sort of on paper, you look at the sort of squad and some of the players, you think, they should be doing fairly well. But no, I thought we dominated it, and I think we deserved the winner. Certainly, it was us that was pushing towards the end to get the win, and I thought Farke was really brave to. I think sometimes when he was bringing on everybody, Pirro and Nemetch, and he was like 8 strikers on the pitch, it looked a bit desperate. Whereas it felt a bit more calculated. He sort of took Calvert-Lewin off, put Metcher on. So yeah, really happy. I mean, particularly with what happened at their place, to get for us to score sort of like in the dying stages from a freak own goal. For us to, reverse it and get a late one to win it was fantastic. Yeah, really, really good. And again, that home record now it's massive in it. If we can continue like we are doing, I think Paul Reaney said at the start of the season, we'll be fine. There's a lot of shit teams in this league, and the more you play people, particularly out on the road, you think, yeah, fucking hell, actually, we haven't got to be scared of anybody. On our day, we can compete and get points against anybody at home, and even away from home, you sort of fancies a little bit against quite a lot of the teams in the division. So, yeah, it's looking a lot more optimistic than it was prior to the City game, whatever it was, 8 games ago.
Yeah, 19 of our 25 points have come at home. So, yeah, it makes Helen Road makes a huge difference. And against
Certainly.
Fulham, I really thought that the crowd sucked that goal in. I mean, many other stadiums, especially that don't have an atmosphere like we've got at Ellen Road, it would have just ended 0-0. because there was just no motivation. But that really at the end, I think that was not one of the loudest, because I've heard Ellen Road be extremely loud, and it wasn't. The game itself was quite dull. Fulham seemed to they came to draw basically. They didn't pose any sort of a threat. In fact, the most dangerous play was by Caldalo, who turned into Kiko Casilla.
Yeah, Elia hybrid. Yeah, fucking absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if that's a different goalkeeper, he's getting so much stick.
Yeah.
And Ellen Road becomes a bag of nerves, but because it's Darlow and everyone seems to trust him and like him, he gets that leeway, doesn't he?
I think everybody knows Darlow's got one in him. He doesn't do it every time. He doesn't do it 4-6 times a game like Melier did. He does it once. So if we get away with that once, like we did on Saturday, and he's done it in virtually every game he's played, he's done something mental where you're like, what are you fucking doing? Just, what are you doing? And yeah, I think once that one's out the way, I think people think, right, that's it. He's had his little fucking wobble. Let him. He'll be doing. He's definitely. I think he's probably the keeper that's the most agile, mobile, distribution. Yeah, still not great, but it's better than Perry, and certainly he's better than Melier.
I think it also showed as well that the depth we've got in the squad when we had Bial and Stack out.
Yeah,
we didn't look a weaker side. We still looked okay.
Massive
team. So I think again it shows that the recruitment so far has been spot on. If you to be honest, spot on.
Massive. Yeah, I think you bang on, mate. I think that was the worry, with James Justin and people burn out and others kind of coming into the team, losing Ampadu for a bit, and I think that's been the greatest strength for us this season is we've actually got a squad, and it's not a squad full of people who are going to prima donna it and sulk on the bench if they're not playing. It just seems to be a really good grounded bunch of lads, and like James Justin's coming in. To be fair, he's probably been, he's been probably one of the best 3 or 4 players in the team every time he's played. I think he's done a fantastic job. So that's been a real fillet, because if you think about sort of teams down at the bottom, that's what they don't have. If you look at Burnley and people, if they lost 2 or 3 players, they'd struggle. I was worried not having Biol and Stack that. This is a game we should get 3 points. Don't tell me we're going to make a nose of it. But no, I mean, anybody who seems to come in is competent and can do a job. So that's quite reassuring.
Right, I'm being told that I'm quieter than everybody else. So I
really?
tried to fix it. I hope that's right. I hope it's better now. A few of your comments. Hello, everyone says Nora.
Hey.
Nora.
Hey guys, says Matt, and Matt says, what a finish from Metcher. He has 5 goals in 600 minutes. Aronson, who has the same number of goals and assists as Saka with less minutes played. And who would have thought that at the start of the season? And Jane, that's my mum, says Darlow looks more composed and controls his area better than either Perry or Melier.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, I want to share with you something. Hopefully this works. I haven't tried to share a screen in a while. Does that work? Oh, wait.
Yeah, did do briefly.
The technology.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't expect to say that in. Yeah, oh, wow, fucking hell.
So this is a pass map, and the XT is expected threat. And what that means is that your team is more likely to score a goal if you have a higher expected threat than a lower expected threat. Basically, the passes are more forward thinking and aggressive, and so you can see the players that we use to control the game. So you've got Gruev here, Gudmundsson, Strout, Rodon. And Okafor, surprisingly enough, which, I mean, that sort of stat that really proves the eye test, which is that he's very, very cautious. For me, he's too cautious for an attacking player. But then the big surprise for me, well, it's not really, but Ethan Ampadu, because you think of him more as a defensive midfielder, a defensive-minded midfielder, and a possession-based player. But he's actually our most threatening player He is the cause of the most attacks for us, and I think he does go quite underrated. But I want to show you something else as well, because the best player on the pitch for me was Gabby Goodmanson.
Oh, yeah.
And look at the passes into the final third of Fulham. Everything has come, or passes into the box. Everything has come down their left-hand side. So that's they're targeting Justin and Bogle. They didn't get anything, nothing against Goodmanson. Not one cross into the box, not one key pass in the final third. He stopped absolutely everything. I mean, he is I cannot tell you how good he is. When I watched the last 5-6 games, I've come to the conclusion I think he's the best left back that I've ever seen play for Leeds. And that includes Tony
How much
Rodrigo.
was it? How much did we get him for?
Was it 15?
Yeah, it was 15, 17, something like that. 17 million euros, I think it was. Something like that.
Bargain, really,
Absolutely.
The thing is, it shouldn't be a shock because he's played in the Champions League. He was playing in Champions League last season. His pedigree is really good. I think if we found it took a while to find his feet. I think his decision making at times, certainly going forward, is not as decisive, composed as it possibly should be. But I mean, he's definitely improved defensively. But I think he's improved as well because somebody's definitely got a hold of Okafor. Because Okafor's not playing on the left as much. He seems to get more cover from the midfield. Does Goodmanson than he did before, and Gruev's good at that. Gruev's plugs a lot of holes, and I think whilst Okafor was playing on the left, he was more exposed, and that's where we seem to get. If you look at the goals that we conceded in the first 6 to 7 games, it'd be the opposite, Donny. I think that map, because a lot of it seems to come down his side, or a mistake from him, or freak goal against Fulham, obviously. But when he fell over on the edge of the box and gave the free kick away against Villa, there's a lot of stuff coming down that side. But he's definitely, it's like anybody. You give people grief, but I'm not giving it to Okafor at the minute, but I think he could do more, and I think he's definitely playing really cautiously and not really giving what I believe he's got in regards of his ability. So. But, it takes players a while to settle in. You could throw Perry in that mix as well. It's his first season. It's really different to playing in France, and Ellen Road, the pressure's on, isn't it? You've got the South Stand breathing down your neck or the Cop at the other end. It's not straightforward, is it? So you've got to give him a little bit of time, and Goodmanson's definitely turned. It's like stacking it. He's looking like the player that we thought we'd bought, and he didn't for a few games.
Yeah, I mean, we also have to give props to Strauch, the change in formation as well, and Gruev as well, who I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he does, and he seems to be a bit of a lightning rod at times. But on that left-hand side, if you look, obviously, 3 at the back, and if you've got Gruev, if you add Gruev to the mix as well, then you've got Strauch, this triangle here of Strauch, Gruev, and Goodmanson, and that is a significant upgrade on Goodmanson and Okafor left
100%.
alone out there.
It's a different world, different ball game in it completely,
Now, I'm being told that my audio hasn't improved, so I've tried to change it again. So please let me know if that's better.
Sounds fine.
Not much I can do about it otherwise. Dale says, MOT A-Law. Good evening, Dale. And Jane says, Gruev.
He loves Gruev.
I think Gruev is he's one of those players that he seems to forget what he does, but he's I think I've said before, he's like the water carrier, and all he needs to do is break up the play, give the ball to the creative player, and he's really good at that. And I think he's one of the best pressers we've got in the team as well, where he thinks he gets the ball quite a lot of times. So I think he's very underrated in the team.
No, he's good. And like you said about Ampadu, Ampadu's definitely not underrated here. I fucking think he's great. I think he'll be anything he wants to be. He can play that forward. He can play 8. I think he can do anything. He can play 6. He can play at the back. I think he's a cracking player. His football intelligence and his kind of composure and ability on the ball, but also off the ball. The mentality he's got. As a Leeds player, a captain, whatever. In my eyes, whoever's wearing the armband, he's always, to me, the kind of leader on the pitch.
Yeah, and he sets the standard, doesn't he?
100% demands it. demands. That's what you need. You look at the Bremner years or Revy years. O'Leary, Wilkinson. They always had not one but 3 or 4 people who set the standard and wouldn't allow people to drop below it. It was Strachan, McAllister. There was Bobby Collins, Bremner. There was a whole team of them in that. Giles, Norman Hunter, Jack Charlton. There's been always players about. In O'Leary's team. You had loads, didn't you? You had Radaby, Bowyer. People who just Smith demanded that you had to play at a certain level and give everything you've got. And I think Ampadu's a modern, at this day's version of that player that just won't let standards slip. He ain't gonna let anybody come to Ellen Road and take liberties on the opposition team. He's going to ref the game a bit. He gets in the ref seat. And I think we don't do that enough. You look at the goal against Newcastle, it still frustrates me, and it shouldn't. But, if we'd have gone and asked enough, which we didn't do at all, probably because we were so disappointed, having bans handballs, I'm not saying they would have given it as a deliberate handball, but the ball rolls down his hand. Not one player on the team, and I was surprised. Was Ampadu banned? Oh, no, it was a Man United game when he was banned for. But
it hit his shoulder.
It hit his shoulder and it ran.
Yellow card, and then he got banned for scum.
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean he shouldn't have been banned for that game. But Harvey Barnes, if you'd have gone and asked him to have a look at it, who knows? But nobody did, and I think that's where Ampadu most of the time he'll pick at a ref and go.
What annoyed me more than that was the guy who'd had a yellow card and then kicked the ball away and then he didn't get it. And then who was? I think it was Ampadu who got a yellow card for throwing the ball because he thought it was our free kick, but it was their free kick. He was doing what he thought. He was just confused. It's not like he did it deliberately.
Joe Linton kicked the ball away, delayed the restart. Dived and got booked when he tried to win a penalty. That was the second one he'd done.
Yeah,
he did a dive earlier on out wide, and he should have been booked. He should have been off the pitch. And then when he got the first yellow when he tried for the penalty, he kicked off at the ref and was clapping the ref. That's another one. You could count 5 yellow cards for one player, and he got one. It's just it's fucking inconsistent. That's the problem, isn't it?
Right then, XG of 2.13 for Leeds versus 0.56 of Fulham's, and Fulham edge possession 53.3%. So I just say that because I think those two stats really highlight the change in system from what we got used to in the Championship, which was possession-based, attacking, free-flowing, passing football, and a team that weren't afraid to pass it around at the back for extended periods of time, to our annoyance at times, to this sort of counter-attacking team who actually don't care if we don't tiki-taka it across the back line for 20 minutes. But what we do have is attacking players, and I think that's made a big difference to Gruev, for example, who came under a lot of stick in the Championship. I remember you, Macca, saying at one point, Gruev and Ampadu are not a midfield partnership. They can't play together. It just doesn't work. But when you've got an attacking player like Dominic Calvert-Lewin banging in the goals every time, when you've got somebody like Aronson who's added a goal threat to his game magically, and when you've got somebody like Okafor or hopefully Buonanotte who can have that attacking output as well, and Metcha, then that takes some of the heat off Gruev, because in the Championship we were thinking he can't play the ball, but if he's just the enforcer, if he just runs around and presses and then when he does get the ball just makes the simple pass or a nice cross-field pass and gets us going, then he's doing a good job.
I think the thing about the not being able to play together, it was the way they were being asked to play. It wasn't that there was a clash in styles or that they couldn't play together. It's just they were both sitting and they were holding up the same spaces and kind of blocking the same lanes sometimes and making the same runs and both sitting when one of them should have been going. And it just seems a lot more fluid now. The system seems a lot more fluid, and that's definitely been accelerated by the change in the playing formation, without a doubt.
I wonder, do you know what, Donny? Because you were there as well, Don't Go to Bed Just Yet, and Eddie Gray were there talking about Ampadu.
Yes.
I wonder what he thinks about Ampadu now in the Premier League, because he said he's still got reservations about if Ampadu can compete in in the Premier League. I wonder if he's changed his opinion yet on that, because I think he's been excellent, absolutely excellent.
It's class, week in, week out. Yeah, one at best players. Eddie Gray's 80 fucking years old, mate. I mean, I'm not being funny. It's a different game now, and I'm not saying he doesn't understand football. It's a bit like when you listen to Robbie Savage on Radio 5 Live, sort of this, if you've never played, you wouldn't understand. It's a lot of bollocks. You're a fan, we were a fan, we were in the stadium, we watched the games. Ampadu's a fucking giant for us, and I think he's one of them players that he sometimes looks like he's playing within himself. So I think when he has to step up and he has to, go on that next 10% or do more, he's very capable of doing it. He's very disciplined and I think he probably listens. He's very coachable, isn't he? So I think coaches tell him what to do and follows that to the letter of the law. But let off the leash, I think he could be anything. I think he's a really good player. And obviously, his cross led to the goal on Saturday. Breaking forward.
Decent cross, wasn't it?
So apparently my audio is still extremely bad. 8-Ball
Donny.
Ali says, are you sure your mic is plugged in, Adonis? You sound like the mic is further away. So please let me know. I've changed a setting there. Please let me know if that is better. I can also try turning it up as well.
You're supposed to be the professional amongst us.
I don't know what to say. So can you please tell me your man of the match, Barney?
I'm going to say Gruev. I was really impressed with him.
Jane will be happy.
just to keep your mum happy.
Okay, Maka.
Well, for the reasons I've said, I'm going to go Ampadu. Not just what he does on and off the ball, but his presence, leadership. Yeah, I think he's great, and a lot of the reason why we get a lot of points at Ellen Road is the way he conducts himself and carries that leadership role. So I'll go Ampadu, and I'm partly being after you, Claude, because I know you want to give man a match to Donny, so I'll let you. I won't steal it from you.
You said Ampadu, right? Sorry, I'm still trying to fiddle around with my microphone. I don't know why it's not working. It should be working. So I just have to say Goodmanson, because I love him so much, and we waited so long for a dependable left back, and now we've got now we're in this wing back system, and he's got to do even more, and there's an onus now on him, not just to attack really well, but also defend really well and marshal that whole left hand side, because he doesn't have a winger in front of him to sort of help him out. So I'd say Goodmanson. I'm just so happy with him. It wasn't his absolute best game. I felt like that was Chelsea. But he was another really, really solid game. I liked Ampadu as well. I thought he was fantastic, and as we saw from the expected threat, he's clearly absolutely integral, and you can start to see now why we miss him so much when he's not with us. All right, was that any final thoughts on the game?
Can I just say something just really quickly there? That sometimes when when pundits watch the game, that kind of game, they'll give it to Metcha because he's come on and he's got the winning goal. You fucking couldn't, because he was an absolute donkey before he fucking finished. It was hilarious. I was literally it was funny because I was about to send a message in the group going, he's fucking shit, Metcha. He's the right donkey. Because he lost the ball about 3 times by, I don't know what he was trying to do. And then we were trying to keep the ball up top, clearly to avoid them getting a late goal. He tried that flick twice to round the corner to Calvert-Lewin or whoever it was, and lost it. And it was like, what the fuck are you doing? Then he got that ball in our third where he smashed it back at strike, like, control that, son, nearly giving away a fucking goal. He was absolutely fucking terrible. I think even Fark commented on it, didn't he? He said, he was like, he'd never seen a football before. And then he gets a cross around his hip height, fucking defender right up his arse, and he manages to almost go on his side and volley that in. And
it's a right finish if you watch it.
Oh, it's absolutely, it gets better every time you watch it. It's one of them where you think he shouldn't have got that contact on it. That defender should have got it. But before that, he was abysmal. So I just wanted to make a comment on the fact that prior to that, I'd have fucking substituted a substitute, and I'd gone, get him off his fucking liability. It's absolutely shit when he goes from last year's a winner in.
like I know it's easy to say after the fact, but I really did turn. I turned to my mum and my cousin who was at his first
Nice.
league game, and I said, Metcha's either going to get yanked off it. I
Oh, really?
realised that he's either going to get subbed off here or he's going to score the winner, and I don't know which. It just felt like that. Everything he touched just
It was awful.
it was really bad. It was really, really, really bad. But it's just sometimes it's funny football. It can be like that. I've had games like that, and then all of a sudden you get one chance and you put it away. Fading away, he had to reach to get it, and what a fantastic finish that was. I mean, he is in those two players. We've got two players who are just absolutely deadly from 5 or 6 yards, and after having watched Patrick Bamford for 5 years miss from 3 yards out. Now, I don't want to be pile on Paddy again, but it's such a big difference. It's such a big difference having players who can bury the ball in the 5 yard line. Right, I hope my microphone is better. Please tell me it's better, somebody.
It must be bad because people are saying that mine's better than yours and you should borrow my fucking cheap £6.99 mic and headphones. So, fucking got a lot to be said for Curry's PC world. Barney looks like Terry Waite doing a fucking appeal video, and I've got people's headshot in the fucking world, and you've got all that kit, and you fucking.
So yeah. Welcome to the 350 people watching on Twitter, the 20 people, 20 others watching elsewhere. A few of your comments then. Cooper Man, LEFC says teams need players like Gruev. He is unselfish and all for the team. Dale says...
He's fuck as well, though. Not looking. He's fit. He's fucking fit. It's like Goodmanson.
I thought you were Wiggy for a second there.
I know, yeah, sorry. No, that'd be Darlow, wouldn't it? And Calvin Lewin. But no, I think the fitness is a massive thing in football, isn't it? And I think Goodmanson, Gruev are proper. I fucking don't know what they're on, but they're so fit, and the work rate and energy is immense. Sorry.
Right. Barker said today in his press conference, are we like top 2 for fitness stats or something in the league? Which says a lot, doesn't it? Really?
Well, it's almost like. It's turning the corner again because we were like that under Bielsa, and then we brought Martian, who seemed to just think we were going to, win games or on vibes and do fuck all.
He said
team
something
building
recently, didn't he?
Please don't spoil, don't steal my thunder because it's in my thing, right? So we'll get that later.
All right,
I might fucking well go off on one. In fact, get the blood pressure. I'll get my missus to get the blood pressure fucking unit on and the Apple Watch on just in case.
We've only got 32 minutes left, so
fine. Yeah, well, we'll start now then.
We'll have to leave a bit of time for Maka to go off on Marsh. Dale says, hiya folks, totally agree. Regards, Gruev. Matt Leeds 438 says playing Gruev also allows Ampadu to be more attacking, as he is great with his defensive work and how he can read and block a pass. That is an excellent, insightful comment there, Matt. I also think the 3 at the back helps as well. And I do think that Ampadu, okay, he can't shoot. We're going to have to ban him from long shots. But he's brilliant at crossing, and he's so forward-thinking. He drives through those lines really well. Dale says the movement and first touch of the ball on the bounce from Amps for the assist versus Fulham was sublime. Yeah, I thought that was a really, really well-worked goal. Nora saying Gruev. Amps or Goodmanson for me, says Dale. And as mentioned, 8-Ball Ali says, whatever headset Big Mac is using, the sound quality and volume are very, very good.
Well, there you go then.
But Dennis in the chat, I can hear you very well, Adonis, and gives me a wink. Dennis 1997 LUFC. Come on, Dennis.
Yes, only Dennis can hear you. It's fine. It's like a 1-to-1 with Dennis. It's fine. Everybody else can't hear you.
Right then, transfers. Seeing as though we're playing 3-4-3 now, and we're playing 2 number 10s, it's probably quite fitting that we've brought in our first, proper number 10. Although Brendan would disagree, since Pablo Hernandez left. So Buena Notte. Are we happy with that? Go on, Barnes.
Yeah,
Go on, Barney.
Well, you know what I said in the group? I said what we should have done is got him into the room, get him ready to sign the contract. I said, no, fuck off. We're not having you. He turned us down last time.
You're not bitter, Barney, no?
Not bitter, but I he's a really good addition. It's just a shame that he had
Hasn't
to
he
come.
suffered enough?
Yeah, he's been at Chelsea, sat on the fucking bench
No,
all them.
I can't wait to play Champions League and then
And everyone
left
was
out of the
in-
squad
yeah.
2 days later.
I think it's a really good addition. I think that there's been certain games this season where we've just missed that little, I'm going to say it again, that je ne sais quoi that we needed.
Yeah.
And I think he could be that player that we sort of could do something for us.
Monge 2, Rodney. Monge 2.
Don't ask me to spell it.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I think it's a really good addition. I think also, again, it adds more rather than like, I know Brendan just keeps on running. It just doesn't seem to be one of those players that gets injured. But I do think that we probably need that certain other player on off the bench that can make the difference. And I think he's the sort of player that can make that difference for us. And also, if we're going to go on this cup run that I hope they are going to go on, we've got more depth in the squad that we can actually put a pretty decent side out against teams in the cup as well. So bring on European football next season. I better sort out my passport.
Okay, that's Barney's take on Buonanotte.
He's taking us to Europe. Here we go.
It started with we should have told him to go back
Fuck
to Chelsea, and it ended with we're off to Europe. I'm packing my bags.
Wowie.
Took us on a journey there, Barnes. Macca, Buonanotte.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with it. That kind of player is somebody we've wanted for a while. And I think the problem with something like Buonanotte is he's not played loads and loads of football, and I'm not sure how much he's going to play for us, or unless we had a couple of injuries. I think that that sort of technical player and that player that's sort of an advanced player, creative, wants to create chances, wants to score goals. You've talked about Ampadu. If you look at it across the midfield, fullbacks, Bogle's got a goal in him, Goodmanson probably not. Centre halves not massively. Stack, yeah. Ampadu, no. Gruev, no. Okafor, less and less the more you watch him. Doesn't seem to be even anywhere near. So you've got Metcher, Calvert-Lewin, Nonto. You need somebody in that midfield who's going to weigh in with goals, regularly, and I think he could be that player. So, yeah, I'm really happy with it. I wanted him last year when we were in the Championship, to be honest. I think I said that to you, that, when he was, I can't remember where he ended up. Was it Brighton again or whatever? But, I was really fancied him to come to us. So, yeah, happy. You're really happy with him as a player, and I hope, he gets his chance and he takes it because, as a backup to Brendan, he's in a hot streak at the moment, but as we know, he can dip and be a bit of a kind of, like you describe it, as a lightning rod, somebody that's a bit Marmite with the fans. And I think to have somebody else you can bring in who's a bit more proven, technical, definitely impactful on the game, massive. I still think we need more, but I'm greedy, and I know we've got to look at PSR and stuff. But I think it's about, it's time to move people out who aren't going to get a look in, and some people that I really like as well,
like Jack Harrison.
Yeah, absolutely fine with him going, no problem at all. I mean, I watch Napoli a lot, as you know, and I can watch him be shit for Fiorentina, which is great.
No more overhit crosses.
Honestly, I mean, if you look at the stats on that, there's nobody that hits so many bad crosses as a winger. It's criminal. I mean, I say to my boy a lot, because he obviously plays in like a scholarship team, academy team, and I go watch him, and it's dying art. If like things are coming back, it's cyclical, isn't it? Like jean width and skinny jeans were in flares, and it's suddenly going back out again, and it's skinny jeans and flares and long throws, goal. The kickoffs now. Have you seen that? Where they just basically, it's like a rugby union territory kickoff where they just play it back. Everybody runs down the left side, they put it out, hoping to get a territorial throw in straight away while people are settled. The
kickoffs, yeah.
Yeah,
going for touch.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And to get them in the territory stuff. I think the thing that has got to come back into the English game is crossing. Because you watch a lot of wingers, a lot of people are out there with fullbacks. You think about Mel Sterland. You think not a particularly gifted fuck me, could he cross a ball? on a sixpence onto Lee Chapman's head. I mean, he got most of his goals from Sterling. But Kewell, you talk about people, wingers and people who could play out there. Waddle, John Barnes. I sort of played in that position. If you couldn't cross a ball, you wouldn't get picked for any team. It was an absolute essential part of the game, and it's definitely a dying art.
Headers and volleys.
Headers and volleys. That's what's gone in the game. Wembley, not playing Wembley and headers and volleys as finished footballers, because it's a dying art being it across the ball, and Harrison's the archetypal example of that. That you just can't fucking cross. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. You put it in an area, you aim for somebody, you put it on the edge at 6-yard box, you miss the keeper. There's loads of different theorems to how you get the best out of a cross, and he's got none of them.
Yeah, it's difficult because you can be sentimental, especially when it's your own team, and you can want to support, rightly, the people who are wearing the shirt. But then when you see somebody who comes in and who's actually competent, it's like Bamford for years. People defending him. I mean, he was our player, and he did score the goals to get us promoted that season. But how many did he miss?
He should have had a bag full. It's like Pirro, isn't it? Same. He should have had twice as many goals as he had last season. He had that many chances. It becomes like profligate, doesn't it? It's almost like, well, I know I'm going to get 5 chances a game. Beckford was a bit like that. I know I'm going to get 6 really good chances a game, so I can afford to miss a couple, rather than, sometimes when that team that you're probably going to get 1-2 good chances, you have to put one away, don't you?
Mm.
And finally, on the Buonanotte thing, I just think it's fitting that Pablo Hernandez, who's he's sort of replaced after all these years, we've been waiting basically 6 years or 5.5 years for another number 10. But Pablo Hernandez is doing so well.
It's just absolutely mental what he's doing over there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
from where they're near like the bottom or something.
Yeah, second from bottom. I think they're really struggling.
Now could get promoted. Get promoted as well. That's something else.
Yeah.
But he always said that he wanted to be a coach, didn't he? And he had that sort of demeanor about him where you think I could see him on the touchline being a coach.
Yeah, but he must have been taking notes. I mean, he'll be another one from the Bielsa tree.
Absolutely.
So many players who played under Bielsa have gone on to coach because it's so inspirational. Dennis, 1997 LAFC. Have you guys heard about Romano Schmidt? He's an Austrian player. He played very well for Austria in Euro 2024. He's a good midfielder. As it happens, Dennis, I have heard of Romano. I think Romano Schmidt would be a great signing. I do think a lot of the noise around him is agent-driven, unfortunately. I think some of the discussion about we've got Buonanotte, so we wouldn't get Schmidt. I don't know about that, because at the right price, why wouldn't you? I think the thing is with Schmidt is he covers a few areas that we're deficient in, and one of them is successful take-ons. So we're not very good at successful take-ons. So that's successfully dribbling against opposition players, and that is one of his strengths. And he's top quality in the final third with those direct passes, assists, key assists, crosses. So when you've got somebody of that quality. And you've got 1 or 2 players like Metcha, like Calvert-Lewin in the box waiting for that service, then I think that's quite a powerful combination. And if you have somebody like Buonanotte or Aronson on one side, and then you've got a Schmidt on the other side, then I think you're starting to blend some of the right qualities in there. I just don't think they're going to get him.
How much will he be?
Probably
15 million euros they're talking about, aren't they? It does seem to have come at the same time as. I think there's an argument for it, because I think we don't capitalise when we're on top in games, and you need somebody who's going to be able to do that for you. And he looks like the part, but I do think that the talk around him was at a similar time to Buonanotte, and I think clearly Fart likes him and has gone back in for Buonanotte, so that might be that one done. I do think we need cover. It's going to be really hard to get cover for Gabby, isn't it? But if you think about his price tag, if you're going to spend 15 million on Schmidt, where you've got quite a lot of options already, I'd probably rather spend 8 or 10 on a good cover for Gabby, because if he got it, I mean, there's rumours that he's not 100% at the moment, that's a real fucking deal breaker for us. I mean, I'm gonna counter that by saying James Justin's been outstanding wherever he's played. He can probably go slotting. He won't do the same job as Goodmanson, not at all, but he'll be a solid replacement for the short term.
If only you could take corners, he'd be perfect. That's
right. Yeah, there is still a slight issue with the quality on corners when Stack's not around, isn't there? But I think. Yeah, exactly. So we've got plenty of options, haven't we? I'd love to see another striker come in. I know it's definitely been a little bit greedy, and there's a little bit of an argument for another keeper because that's just 17 million quid on Perry. Just looks fucking hell. Why can't we buy a keeper? It's like when we had a problem with buying a left back for years, and we had a problem with getting a striker. Now it seems to have shifted to the goalie. I don't want to lump on him because it's early days in his career at Leeds, and he has done some great things, and I think he does look quite solid at times. But there's times where he looks like he's just a lone goalkeeper, like a bit of a loose cannon. He's not communicating properly. He's not managing anything. He's not, corners coming and he's kind of does that star jump where he makes himself big, but he's not going and attacking the ball or getting near it. There's a lot of issues, and his distribution's poor, and he's got a rick in him, and yeah.
Do you know what I think it is about him? He's like one of those enormous dogs who thinks he's a little. Thinks he's a little lap dog. He thinks he's a little puppy. But he's not. He's like a 99-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
So is he eating right? Is he sleeping right? I mean, he doesn't. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't. He should be commanding that box.
Yeah, he should. Yeah. Yeah.
He looks a bit weak when the ball's in the air. He looks like he might get pushed over. Right.
Yeah, well, he's not coming for stuff like that Newcastle game when they were putting those really horrible corners in at the end of the game. It looked like we might concede from a corner. He was stood on his line doing a star jump, just going, making himself big. Like, well, if it comes near me and hits my hand, fine. But he wasn't going. And he got a punch on something, and he kind of flicked one to the back, over the back post. But he should be coming and taking a couple of them, taking the pressure off and killing the game, and he just didn't. And again, he's sort of at fault for a lot of the goals. You look at he could have done better against Arsenal, Man United, Newcastle. There's so many times where you think we should have done better with that. Really, it's hard as a goalie, isn't it? But it's definitely we're not being too critical. I don't think in saying that he's not a massive improvement, if he's an improvement at all on what we already had.
Well, no, we have to be critical. You have to be critical of a guy who's got the worst save percentage in the Premier League.
Well, there you go then.
You have to be critical of that guy.
The eyes don't lie, exactly. Yeah.
You have to be critical of the guy who's got the second worst distribution.
You definitely can see that. That's poor
in the Premier League. So I think it was right to take him out of the limelight. To be honest, Dalla got the clean sheet, but his distribution was actually worse. If you look at the stats. So he just needs to work on that. We need to get Perry into a sports psychologist, nutritionist, sleep scientist, all of that, because he's definitely got potential and he is a massive lump.
Yeah.
So I think there are things that he can work on, position wise, poise, and all of that, and commanding of the area. He can work on all of those things. So hopefully he does. Mark Edison 7740. Hi guys. I recently met Ampadu at a petrol station near me in Scarcroft. He genuinely loves playing for Leeds. He said he has finally found his football home. He's also a really nice guy. Which is such a lovely story, isn't it? Jane says, "Oh, Mark, that's so lovely." Nora says, "Oh, that's so nice. Love Ampadu." At the start of that story, I thought he was going to drop some transfer news. I recently met Ampadu at a petrol station, and he pulled me close and he grabbed me by the hair and he said, "We're getting Romano Schmidt."
What do we think to the striker at Wolves, Strand Larsen? I'm asking. It's a loaded question.
Barnes?
I think it's a lot of money to spend in January. Looks like Palace are going in for him now, aren't they? For, is it 30?
Palace is shit. Who'd go to Palace? I called it at start of season, Donny, and you told me that fucking Glasner was his fucking miracle worker manager. You don't want to be there. Mateta don't want to be there. They've sold fucking Eze.
They're getting sucked in. Definitely.
I told it. I called it ages ago. They're getting sucked in. Nobody wants to be there. Why the fuck would he go to Palace now? Nobody wants to be there.
You've got a point, yeah. Mateta wants out. Doesn't
So
he?
what's the odds?
Gay's gone.
What's the odds on? Do you think Roy Hodgson coming back till the end of the season?
I think that's pretty high. I don't think you can get away. Like I don't. The thing is for Parish is, if I'm an owner, I'm going to want to assert.
You got a lisp. You got a lisp. No. Palace.
Steve Parish, the owner of Palace.
I'm joking. Crystal Parish.
I'd be wanting to assert my, some authority and some control and send a message as well that you can't go around in public slagging off the club, slagging off the ownership, because it's not a good look.
No, it's not. No.
They're all doing it now, though. Amarin did it, didn't he? And it's not. I mean, whatever the ownership, whatever. It's poor at Man United. It's I don't know Palace. Don't know much about them, but we've had some poor owners. But I wouldn't like a manager to come out and try and use it as an excuse. That we're going to come on to fucking Knobhead Marsh in a minute, but that deflecting. Bielsa was one of the best at it, wasn't he? It's my fault. It's mine. He deflected away from the players. He was brilliant at it. Marsh talks like he invented it, but and he's the same. You think about some of those. Glasner. Amarin this season, looking, blaming people, almost like wanting to get sacked. It's like the saying, "Sack me." That's what I'm hearing. And Palace are in a position at the minute where you look at Silver at Fulham as well. He doesn't be happy. He's not happy with the transfer window, the budget he's getting. And they're sort of probably 3 or 4 points off being safe, aren't they? But you can get dragged back in. I still think there's going to be some twists and turns in this. We're not fucking involved in it, but I think West Ham look like they might just do something. Forest are capable of getting a few results.
For me, it's too much. It's too much. And
I wish they'd got beat on Saturday. I wish or drew. I wish they'd have drew on Saturday. 10 points now is significant. I know it's only a couple of extra points, but it's pretty significant, isn't it?
I think we're in a really good place.
Yeah,
We don't know what Strand Larsen. We don't know what his potential could be. It could be enormous. We don't know what his personality is like. Could be terrible. We've got a really tight dressing room. I don't think you want to have too many players for the same position. I know now that if we're playing 2 up top, then we probably need strength and depth in those areas if we want to keep playing that base formation. But if we're playing, essentially 3-4-2-1 or whatever, with the 2 10s, then we only need one forward. We've got two guys who are absolutely on fire at the moment in DCL. In Metcha. Piru, we know he can finish. Nonto, not a bad backup for this level, and he does some good things. So I think we're probably okay. We certainly wouldn't want to push the boat out. And if the worst came to the worst and we got him in and it was awful, and then we're saddled with this huge PSR debt. I mean, look at what happened to Leicester when they went down with huge debts.
And they sold people for big money as well. It's not like, we've never been able to do that, have we? Apart from Rafinha and Phillips to a point, we've not really been able to move people on regularly for big money, which Leicester seemed at one point to be doing. I think the thing about Strand Larsen, we've got to get a player like Calvert-Lewin for me. If we're going to play the system and be committed to it, he's probably the player that we'd miss the most at the moment. Look at what we've said about squad depth and people being able to step in and do a job. That's where I'd struggle because Metcha can't do it. 100% can't do what he does. I know he's good and he's he's kind of a bit more languid and a bit more awkward, and he probably will sort of knock people about up there. But he's not as clever, and he's certainly not going to finish or get in the positions that Calvert-Lewin gets in the 6-yard box to finish. So I do think if we're going to get one, we have to get somebody or aim for somebody. And I think Strand Larsen is a bit like that. He plays a lot of his football, holds the ball up well, brings people in, and he does get onto the end of things in the box. But, yeah, it's a lot of money, and I think you'd have to move people out to get somebody of that value in, and that clearly is Pirro, Nonto. Gray's gone out on loan, Harrison's gone out on loan. There's talk of Pirro getting moved on. I think if we lost Pirro, we definitely need to bring somebody else in because I just don't think he's not capable of doing that job. He's not physical enough. So you've got an issue there that if God bless, if Calvert-Lewin, I hope he doesn't get injured, we've got a problem. We've got a slight problem.
Right. We better race through this then because we've got Everton and what's your thing to do, and we've only got 10 minutes. For a few of your comments though, because they're important. 8-Ball Ali, Barker still worries me. He's determined to play 3 up top, even though DCL is scoring. enough to be mentioned for England, and Metro is scoring a goal every 120 minutes. Matt Leeds 438 says, I would play Buonanotte and Aronson in behind DCL instead of Okafor, who has not been great in a while.
Agreed.
Cannot agree with you more there. Matt, he also says, everyone just wants a new shiny toy. Some people think every player outside of Leeds is better than the players at the club. And Dennis mentions, would you guys sign Tommy Conway as the third striker? I doubt Borough would sell him for cheap. No more strikers. Give me a left wing back. That's who I want. Right.
Yeah.
England. Sorry, not England. Everton versus Leeds.
England versus Leeds.
England versus Uruguay. Barney, Everton, Leeds. What are you thinking? Maybe just should we get a little bit of a thought, just a couple of thoughts, and then a prediction?
I think it'll be a really tough game, and I'm a massive fan of Moyes. I think what he's done so far in the league, I think it's brilliant. I think Everton are on the up as well. I think it's going to be a really tough game, and I think if we get a point away, that's another decent point on the board. I'm hoping just for a 0-0 draw. I think we've got enough to do something against them, and also the fact that Grealish is injured as well. So yeah, I'm happy for a 0-0 draw.
Can't believe I'm going to be the happy clapper.
Come on, Macca.
I think we're going to win. I think we'll beat them. I think the thing with Everton is that it's a typical Moyes team where very solid, hard to break down, functional in a lot of positions. I hope that Tino Barry, whatever he's called, he got a goal the other day, really good finish. That don't give him too much confidence. I don't wish ill on the lad, but I think we beat him. I just think that the way we are at the minute away from home, you look at how we gave Newcastle a game. I think I don't think it'll be tight. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I'm going to go for 2-1 Leeds. And I just think that I think they're a bit limited, and without Grealish, they haven't really got that creative kind of holding the ball up top. They've sort of got a lot of injuries. Got a sort of result the other day. They tend to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Yeah, I'm going to be confident to say we'll win 2-1.
Okay, I'm going to say 1-1. I think Moyes, whatever. I think even something like Grealish, he's been fantastic for them. But I think that could spur them on a bit. And I think Moyes, he can really, he's good motivationally, and when his back is against the wall, that's usually when he brings out the best in a team as well, when they're facing adversity, and losing your star player is definitely a bit of adversity. I think it'll be tougher than some people think it will be. Everton, in terms of XG differential, they're slightly outperforming us. So yeah, they're 10th in the league for that, so minus 4.76. So they've expected to have conceded 5 goals more than scored, and we're about 6. So the only teams that have positive for that XG differential are Fulham, Burnley, Villa, and Spurs.
Burnley.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird stat. It's a very weird stat.
I don't put a lot of weight on stats, as you know. I think it's a lot of fucking bollocks. So yeah, it just goes to show Burnley are second bottom and going down, and they've got the fucking fuck off. I think the thing is that I say that tongue in cheek because they still carried that really good defensive record they had last year into this division, haven't they? They've not been out of games, not been battered by anybody. They got a draw against Liverpool the other day. I know that we've done that. A couple of times, but the point being that it doesn't surprise me for the defense. They're good defensively, but they just don't score enough goals. They've got nothing up top. They've not spent enough on being able to create and put chances away. So it sort of tells its own story. But yes, that's a load of fucking nonsense, really. The only stat that matters is how many goals did you score? How many goals did we score? That's it.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't look great when they came to Ellen Road. I mean, we absolutely outplayed them in that first half, and that was 100%. Probably our best half of the season, to be fair. Certainly in the old formation. But I do think Dominic Calvert-Lewin might have a little bit of a point to prove. A few of your predictions. Dennis, 1997 LAFC 3-0. He says 3 goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. A
Can you
hat-trick
imagine
for
that? That'd be
DCL
brilliant, wouldn't it?
on his
Will he
return.
celebrate? Will he celebrate?
Of course he will.
He's a nice lad, really, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he
got a
was,
bit of a dog in him, bit of a demon in him, but he's a nice guy. Nora says 2-1 to Leeds.
Good taste, Nora. I like it.
Jane says yes, Dennis. The returning player often does that, so fingers crossed. And she is predicting a Leeds United win as well. We're doing the double over them for sure. Right. Just a little bit of time then. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go to tell me what.
Why are we being so strict on fucking time now? We've never been strict on time. If we get somewhere near an hour,
this is it now.
You've changed.
I'm laying down the law. By the way, 600 people on Twitter.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Hell.
Amazing. Did you promote it on your social media channels?
Yeah, I did this morning.
Well done.
This morning I told
Barney?
people about it.
Terry Waite.
I've retweeted it as well. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank fuck. Jesus. It's like you've got all these followers and you don't fucking tell anybody we're on and you wonder why it's like 3 people watching. Thank you, lads. Well done. We're starting finally to fucking turn slightly. 6 years. 6 years, by the way. Slightly. To put out a promotional tweet about we're on tonight. 6 years, people. Jesus. Imagine what we could do if we weren't for being such a bunch of fucking amateurs.
My microphone still doesn't work. Right, tell me what's your thing.
Go on, Barnes.
So my thing is, I've been watching Early Doors on that BBC iPlayer.
Oh,
Absolutely great TV. It's just brilliant.
I'll stay my own.
It's funny. It's sad in bits. It's quite thought-provoking. It's just brilliant. Just
Magic.
like in one pub, a few people talking, just brilliant TV. Highly recommend it.
It's fucking brilliant. If you had to watch one program for the rest of your life, it'd be probably between that and Phoenix Nights for me.
Yeah.
Comedy wise.
Yeah.
Only 2
brilliant.
seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But they're the best, like the Smiths, they broke up Stone Roses. Everybody who breaks up too soon, it leaves you wanting more, keep them keen. So fantastic program. I still watch it, Barney. Every so often dip back into old Early Doors and it's just brilliant.
Can I say, Nora said in the chat, I hope in the 7th year of doing this podcast, Donnie will figure out how to plug his mic. Thank you.
Shots fired. That's your wife talking. Fucking hell.
Go on, Macca.
And she's slagging me off. What's wrong with her? I know she's being ill, but she's been right fucking aggressive. Oh, Ewan didn't promote it. I'm not on social media. I'm on Instagram just to spy on people. I'm not on Twitter. I ain't got a million followers. I've got about 8 people. Yeah, I know. It's shit, though.
Come on, get it out. What's your thing?
Right, anyway, so football, telly-wise, well, I'm going to leave. Are you going to do traitors on both behalf of both of us?
Yeah.
Right, so telly-wise, 1,000 Blows is back on the second series. It's fantastic. Stephen Graham, really good programme. Very dark, set in Victorian times, England. Fantastic. Acting performances galore. Good storyline, boxing, in a pub. It's just great. So watch it. It's fantastic. Catch up with Series 1 and get into Series 2. I've just started watching Series 2, so it's early days yet. But looking forward to catching up with that. Really quickly, I can't do what I was going to do, but fucking Jesse Marsh has done an interview with The Athletic. Not a written interview, a physical interview, and it is fucking embarrassing. Go listen to it. If you want to hear mental illness and deludedness and fucking complete self-obsession and overrating yourself and my kids call it glazing yourself. That is it in a fucking nutshell. He's an absolute fucking prick. So in brief, he's telling Leeds fans how they should feel about the identity of their club having been here for what? Fucking year. Telling us how we should feel. That we lack identity and we're more worried about the manager getting sacked and social media and transfer windows than we are about the identity of the club. Fuck off, you yank prick. And then every other fucking word he speaks is fucking nonsense. It's like yeah, somebody's wound him up to go on and say the stuff he said to get people talking about him again because he's been a bit quiet and nobody gives a fuck. And the worst thing is the Athletic person who's interviewing him was bad because he's talking about how Canada will be better well known in the World Cup because he's their manager. And fuck off, he's a no-mark. He's managed in no-mark leagues. He was shitting there. He got the luckiest results. The results we got were so lucky when he was at Leeds. His fucking tactics and his identity were fucking rubbish. That's why people were questioning it. And the reason why people were talking about sacking the coach is because he was shit, mate. And he's fucking on there. He needs fucking hell. I swear to God, where are ISIS when you need them? That's what I'm saying. Fucking hell. Absolutely. He was fucking finishing off, man. Fucking dog, you'd put him down because he's fucking not right in his head. He's got rabies or something. He's fucked. I just hate him. I fucking hate him with every fibre in the body. And that, I listened to probably 6 minutes of that interview and I had to stop it after 30 seconds the first time I tried. I did about another 2.5 minutes the next time. And then I did another minute and I had to stop. And I was fucking nearly violently sick just listening to that prick talking fucking bollocks. And anybody who sits in a room with him, listens to him and don't call him out, they won't fucking exploding on site as well. A fucking awful bastard. I fucking hate him. What a deluded prick, man. Typical Yank, fucking hell. Brought up to think they're brilliant. Don't ever look in a mirror, do some self-analysis, do some self-evaluation or self-awareness, you fucking useless fucking piss flap. Anyway, that's it.
I dread to think what the algorithm now is on YouTube for us when he talks about ISIS.
I fucking hate the cunt, honestly. What a fucking prick, man. Have you listened to it? Have you listened to it?
Yeah. I've listened to
And
parts of it.
Have I said anything that's out of order?
Well, I think the ISIS bit was a bit close to the bone.
Oh, fuck it. I'll say what you're thinking.
I'll be quite controversial though.
Go on.
I do agree to a certain extent.
Oh, don't, Barney.
Football fans are obsessed over here about transfers all the time.
Oh,
I do.
No, I don't agree with anything that he said. I don't
agree with what a lot of stuff he says, but I thought I can see what he's saying there because
you should see what the American fans are like.
I'm going to say he's a fucking cheeky bastard. They're worse.
It's all the same. It's just an obsession. It's
a prick, mate. He was having a dig.
I mean,
he was having a dig at Leeds.
Podcast. We talked to 35 minutes about transfers. It's fun. We're allowed to have fun, aren't we? Are we? Are we policing how fans support their team now? To me, he is exactly what Macca said. There was no self-reflection. There was no.
I get that, yeah.
Self-awareness at all. There was no taking responsibility. What annoyed me about that relegation side was the people who were the players who left on loan, who didn't take responsibility, who didn't stick around and say that was my fault. No, I'm not going out on loan. I'm staying here and I'm getting Leeds United back in the Premier League. You know, that would have been the response to me. That would have, you know, of course everything's about money now, and everything's about agents and trying to get the best deal and going to the Bundesliga or going to the Premier League, but that to me that would have shown a little bit of responsibility. And the player that I think of is Joe Rodon, because he was the one who said, I am staying at Leeds United. I want to play for Leeds. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that was 6 months before. That was in January when they were doing the promo for the kit for the next season.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, "No, I'm going to be in the promo for it because I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere else." And he turned down loads of other clubs. He could have played in Europe, X, Y, and Z. So that to me, that's what I think when I think about. And bearing in mind, we just had Bielsa.
I know, but it's like you just talked about
this guy after Bielsa, and he acts like so narcissistic and so lacking of any self-awareness and responsibility.
But he didn't train the players. He didn't do anything. He didn't have a goalkeeping coach from Melier. He didn't train people to be fit. He didn't do any fitness training. So we're the least fit team. We've gone from being the hardest runners, the hardest working, to the least fit team in the league, and he wonders why we struggle. He had no goalkeeping coach. He's a fucking myth. He's an absolute myth. He shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the foot. It's like,
Rafinha on long throws at right wing back.
there you go. And look at the whole thing. Look at how we played. Look at when Villa scored that goal. Was it the second game of the season where he had 30 yards on the back post? There was nobody near him. Complete fucking bellend. He's got no. I've got more idea. Well, you talk about why we were talking about players, right? Why was players, fans on social media talking about transfers? Because of you fucking prick. Because you brought in Mark Rocker, fucking Rasmus Christensen, Brendan Aronson, Weston McKennie, some of the worst fucking players who've ever worn a Leeds shirt. You fucking idiot. That's why we were talking about it. That's why we were questioning our identity. That's why fans were on about transfers. Couldn't wait to get half of the fuckers you brought in out. He's a fucking idiot. He's got no self-awareness. He wants fucking binning off. He shouldn't be allowed near a football pitch or a coaching fucking anything. He shouldn't be allowed to talk about football. It's like Ridsdale. Shouldn't be allowed to own a football club ever again. Ruined about 3 or 4 football clubs in his career. That fucking idiot. Honestly, I wish I could bump into him because he'd fucking know about it then. I'd tell him, no holding back. No, hi, Jesse. I'd tell him straight. Fucking, just like I've done then. You fucking prick. We know what our identity is, thanks very much. We know what Leeds United's all about. We know what the metrics are. We know what the fucking habits, behaviours, nutrients, minerals are to be a Leeds player. We've fucking done it for 50 years. Fuck off, you dick. You've been here 5 minutes. Anyway, get me off this fucker because I'm going to end up fucking strangling the cat. Yeah, come here while I strangle you.
Few of your comments then, and then we'll wrap it up. Jane says, "What time is the watershed?"
No such thing in my house, Jane. You know that.
8 Ball Ali says, "Please God, let someone else talk to Jesse Marsh before the next episode." Ali is loving it, and Nora says, "Ewan shouldn't hold back his emotions so much; it's not healthy. Keeping it all pent inside is eating you alive." There, man.
Well, there you go.
Stop sugarcoating it, mate. Tell it like it is.
I will.
Right.